morning. It is Wednesday, February 12th, and this past Big Al, I have my cup of coffee, and I have my Bible. And I want to share where I'm at so far this year. My goal this year was to read through the Bible 20 times in 2020, and so I want to give you an idea of where I'm at. Yesterday, when I finished yesterday, I had finished 42 straight days of reading the Bible at least 4 hours a day. And this morning, I've already read for 2 hours. And so right now, I am at 170 hours worth of reading the Bible this year from January 1st to February 12th. And so what does 170 hours get you? Well, I have read through the Bible 2 times now. And so I'm on my 3rd time through the Bible. And this morning I have been reading through the book of Jeremiah. And I'm up to Jeremiah chapter 25. And as I'm reading this morning, I'm sitting on the couch. I have a lamp on. And I'm reading. And I hear the rain. It's raining outside. It's not a thunderstorm or anything like that. It's just a rain. It's a very heavy soaking rain. And for those who don't know me very well, I'm not a big rain person. I don't like the rain. And in fact, if it was clear outside, I would have probably got in the hot tub this morning. But because it's raining, I wasn't able to. I was just sitting there on the couch and I was reflecting, and I'm reading through the book of Jeremiah. And I come to Jeremiah chapter 14. In Jeremiah 14, I'm going to read the first 6 verses, and then I'm going to read the last 3 verses of Jeremiah 14. But it says, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning the drought. And so they're in a drought, and it's a very bad drought. And I remember a few years back, Wichita Falls was in a drought, and it was a severe drought. When I say a severe drought, we were recycling water. It was that the lake had pretty much dried up. And in Wichita Falls, we have a hill that overlooks Lake Wichita. And I have a picture standing up on top of the hill, and then I walked out into the middle of the lake and took a picture of the hill. And I'll post those pictures here. But we were in a very, very severe drought. So when I get to Jeremiah 14, starts off verse 1, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning the drought. So they're in a bad drought. So let's hear what happens. Judah mourns and her gates languish. Her people lament on the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem goes up. Her nobles send their servants for water. They come to the cisterns. They find no water. They return with their vessels empty. They are ashamed and confounded and cover their heads because of the ground that is dismayed. Since there is no rain on the land, the farmers are ashamed. They cover their heads. Even the doe in the fields forsake her newborn fawn because there is no grass. The wild donkeys stand on bare heights. They pant for air like jackals. Their eyes fail because there is no vegetation. So without rain, there's a lot of people that are so upset, so frustrated, and they're covering their heads in shame. There's nothing to drink. And I remember, again, with our drought, we drink the lake water there. And it was bad. There just wasn't any. So they started recycling the water. And it was a very interesting thing to be drinking water that's been recycled through everything. So that it's a mental thing. It was interesting back then. And there's no vegetations. There's no green grass. Trees were dying in Wichita Falls at that time. Trees were dying. It was a very severe thing. So we get to the last few verses of this chapter, and here's what he says. We acknowledge our wickedness, O Lord, and that's verse 20. We acknowledge our wickedness, O Lord, and the iniquity of our fathers, for we have sinned against you. Do not spurn us for your name's sake. Do not dishonor your glorious throne. Remember and do not break your covenant with us. Are there any among the false gods of the nations that can bring rain? Or can the heavens give showers? Are you not he, O Lord our God? We set our hope on you, for you do all these things. You see, that last little section indicates that it's our iniquities that had caused the rains not to come. And Jeremiah says, listen, the false gods that you guys are worshiping, they can't provide the rain. Only God can give the rain. And the reason that's significant, because when we were in our drought, they were passing legislations and things. They were trying to do this seeding of the clouds. They were trying to cause the clouds to rain on Wichita Falls, spending a lot of money, taxpayers' money, in order to try and get it to rain here in Wichita Falls. But only God can give the rain. Only God can give the rain. And so as I'm reading this morning and I'm trying to reflect on this, I realized that it might be an inconvenience to me. And it might look gloomy outside. It's cold, it's wintertime, it's gray, there's no greenery right now, but we're getting rain. And the truth is, it's a blessing. It's a big, big blessing, because that rain means that ultimately down the road, you're going to get the rain. You're going to get the vegetation. You're going to have the water to drink, and you're going to get the green grass. In 2 weeks from today, we begin the season of Lent. The season of Lent is 40 days before Easter, not counting Sundays. And 40 days before Easter, not counting Sundays, Easter is so significant because Easter means springtime. Easter is the first holiday of the spring. And the rain right now is so important because spring means new life. And without rain, there is no new life. Without rain, there is no vegetation. The green grass isn't going to happen, and the trees are still going to be dead. So the rain is so important, so powerful right now. And as I reflect on the physical part of that, I began to think about the spiritual part of this. The spiritual part of this is maybe spiritually you're going through a winter time. Spiritually, things are looking really gray out there. And you don't always get the snow where it's white and it's pretty. Most of the time in the winter, you get this rain. And it's cold, it's wet, it's very gloomy. And maybe that's your spiritual life right now. But be encouraged today. Be encouraged today, because if you're getting this rainy season that you're going through right now, if you are going through a rainy season, be encouraged, because the truth is, in the spring, you're going to be beautiful. In the spring, you are going to be gorgeous. So I just want to encourage you with those words today. Only God can give the rain. Only God can give the rain. And I know sometimes it might be a little bit inconvenient, but this rain is so important. It is a true blessing, and only God can provide the rain, and only God can provide the spiritual revival and rain in our own lives. And so as we get closer to the season of Lent, we're going to reflect more on how to allow God to refresh and revive and renew our spiritual life. Thank you so much for spending time with me in God's Word today. I pray that y'all have a blessed day.